All right, guys. I'm gonna give you my take on the 40K tournament drama. As far as Zai not one or whatever, not wanting to switch off Widow. Fine. Personally, I don't mind her not switching off Widow. I don't think it was a horrible thing for her not to switch off Widow. They hadn't even gotten to the tournament yet. And obviously, Widow's not the most meta character. Obviously, Widow has a huge ceiling as far as skill goes. The fact of the matter is, they were not at the tournament. I'm not sure how many games they lost because of Widow. So I'm of the persuasion that, okay, I'll believe in you until you give me reason not to. Now, obviously, there were a few games where maybe, Widow didn't do the best on the team, 0-5 at one point, but they were winning from what I understood. So it's for me more so like I can't really get mad at you for winning the game. I can't get mad at you for that. I can maybe berate you or suggest for you to switch in hopes that we do better or you do better. But the fact of the matter is they weren't losing from what I saw. So I personally am from the persuasion of I'll brood and hope for the best, which was Kingsman wanted to take a proactive way about it. Like, look, hey man, Widow's not the best. I'm not saying you're bad on Widow, but it would be much easier for us to win this way. And I think the devs are looking at it like, you know what I'm saying? Look, man, Widow is a viable character. She's a viable character. She cooks. We need some more Widows in the game, and we need Widow to stop being the throw pick. We need people to believe in Widow. So for him to get kicked out of the tournament because he wanted Widow to swap so badly isn't so far off from logical as far as the big picture goes. Because I'm sure the devs don't want to have to totally rework Black Widow. If she gets in the tournament and cooks, they can say, hey, look at that. Look at Widow. She's a throw pick. I mean, for people who genuinely want to throw, yeah, it's an easy throw pick for them. But if you genuinely want to play Widow and have love and passion for Widow, she can cook. I mean, there's some Widows that, they're like the 1% that literally changed the game. Literally changed the game. Like, they are the X factor. Now, yeah, it's as simple as that. So you can't get mad. I wouldn't say you should be mad at the devs or whoever for kicking Kingsman. I think Kingsman, pushed his boundaries or overstepped slightly. There were multiple people saying, hey, or at least one or two, multiple people saying, no, we're going to keep the Widow, right? And, obviously there were other people on the other side saying, hey, he might be right. But to be the head of the snake and not have an open community, because the negativity comes in where people are like, bro, you got to swap. You're doing awful. You suck. Get off this character. You're bad. Please swap. Please swap. Please swap. That's where the toxicity and the negativity comes in the game of Rivals. So when you ask or politely, or I'm going to use this word here, berate. And I'm not too familiar with that word, but the word comes to mind. So when you actually go back and forth and you push and push and push and push and you get the same result, at a certain point, it gets to be counterproductive. And it gets to rub people the wrong way, which it did. It rubbed people the wrong way. Obviously, the Widow, I'm not saying she's a one trick, don't know who else she played. And, the other chick. Yes, it was a little bit of girl power from what I'm understanding, and that's understandable. We understand that. That's fine. At the same time, when you need, if it was me in the 40K tournament and I'm getting X amount out of 40K, I'm like, yo, if you don't perform on Widow, I will never let you live this down. Facts. And we will no longer be cool. Only because I told you. Now I can suggest like, hey, you sure you want to play Widow? I mean, if you're going to cook with Widow, then cook with Widow. I'm that type of person. I might not even say anything about switching. I'm like, yo, you good on the Widow? That's what I might say. You know, I see a Lord Widow. I'm like, all right, let's run it. You know what I'm saying? 40K, if you going to cook. I'm not going to keep saying anything about it. I want to say, but I'm going to keep using the word berating. And I'm not saying Kingsman was berating her. I'm saying he was adamant about Widow not being the play because he wanted, obviously, for it to be easier on him. He would have to pick up the slack, and that's what you have to do in the Marvel Rivals game when people are not as good as others. That's what you do in any situation. Jobs, villages, groups. When people are lacking in certain areas, there are other people that pick up the slack. So that's what he would have had to do. And that's what Rob, and that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. Point blank, period. And Rilo was talking about this. And I'm gonna use it I'm gonna paraphrase. There's so many DPS inflated egos. And this is my own words and what I interpreted from, you know, what he was saying. He was saying basically like DPS are not as good as they think they are because of the healers. The healers are keeping you alive. You shouldn't even be alive that long. You should have died 30 seconds ago. You should have been dead. Now, that's where I come in and say, yo, yeah, he's right. A lot of the DPS have a lot of inflated egos. And I'm ranting, you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying here is I don't mind the Widow pick. If you're going to cook with Widow, cook with Widow. You know what I'm saying? Kingsman, he just pushed a little too far, you know? He would have had to, like I was saying, pick up the slack. And that's what I'm going. Pick up the slack. He probably didn't want to have to work that hard. It was going to be stressful for him. It's a $40,000 tournament. Yes, it's going to be stressful. So 100% going to be stressful. You know what I mean? Like I said, if it was me, I'd do what I have to do. If it was Widow, if I'm playing with a Widow as a Loki main, it's perfect. Because Widow, Hawkeye, perfect. I want to put as much clones out as possible, distract the enemies so they get headshot. If I see a Hawkeye on the team, immediate Loki pick for me. I'm going Loki. I need more bodies on the field, more confusion, more mischief, and then they get bodied. That's how I do it. If it's a Widow, perfect for me. I'm going Loki. There's more stuff going on. She knows she's not going to get hit by the Loki. We got more space. We have more space to operate. You work around or you add to what your team will do. If there's people on the team who won't switch, all right, you SOB, I'll do what I got to do and do. So in that situation, Kingsman might have benefited from just being like, okay, I believe in you. I'm a little skeptical and I hate the fact that you're picking Widow, but the fact of the matter is I believe you can get kills with Widow and I believe that we can win with Widow. Now, whether he believed that or not is up to him. You know what I'm saying? I'm the guy who's going to encourage you as far as being like, okay, you're going to cook a Widow? Okay, good kill, Widow. Oh, W Widow kill. W Widow kill. Give you that good energy. Give you that positive energy. When you start not believing in somebody, when you start doubting somebody, it's a little harder for them. It's more pressure on them to get kills. It's more pressure on them to perform. You don't want to put that pressure on, especially a Widow man. And I think that's where Kingsman went wrong, is him just putting the pressure where it didn't need to be. Because from where I'm sitting, they didn't lose a game. I mean, only saw like 2 minutes of, like 2 or 3 games, but they won every game. So when you're putting unnecessary pressure at this point on a person for this projected date, it's like, well, we didn't lose, so I don't understand or I don't agree with the comments that you're making about the switch, because obviously something is working. And I kind of agree with the okay, she's popping them in the back line, making them use their cooldowns and resources. That's why you're getting the kills. And I can agree with that. Not saying I know that to be true, but that could have been happening. And I think that when you try to press so hard for something that you want, you overlook the reality of certain things sometimes. And the reality may have been that Widow was actually being a factor in the game that not everybody saw. You know, because that happens in Marvel Rivals. People like back to what I was saying. The DPS sometimes have such good healers that they make it out of situations that they would not had we or the healer been bad. So that might have been a situation that was going on. All in all, you know, I'm not gonna be long with this. You know what I'm saying? It's my first little rant talk video about some topic in the world that, you know, I wasn't a part of, or, you know, it was interesting that I'm close to. You know, I think that believe in the Widow until she gives you a reason not to. Now, if you guys would have lost the tournament, you can talk trash for a lifetime, you know, but he got kicked, so there's no payoff, there's no solution, there's no fruition of the end game. What happens at the end, he doesn't know, he wouldn't know. It's not there. So, yeah. All in all, relax.